Good morning, all you amazing people. It is a beautiful Easter Sunday here in sunny Dayton, Ohio. It's 60 degrees, and today's project is actually transplanting all of our mature seedlings into bigger cups, getting ready to go into our hay bales, which I will be getting the rest of those on Wednesday night. So I have already transplanted 3 spaghetti squash and 1 butter or acorn squash. We've already made a trip to Walmart to get more soil. I picked up some flower bulbs. And yes, I'm using my hands. I buy a pair of gloves every year, and the sad thing about that is that I totally would prefer my hands in the dirt. So I get them, and then I rarely use them. So this is another spaghetti squash. Gonna put it down in there. I started all my seedlings in the actual house. I do not have a greenhouse. Those are goals. My spaghetti squash came up very, very nicely. However, this plant is not wanting to come out. So I'm going to reach down and grab that little root ball. Get it down in there. They were in here a little longer than they should have been, so they're a little leggy. But we'll make it work, hopefully. It's supposed to be 72 degrees here today. After we had snow last week. We had snow. It's Ohio weather for you. Oh, this is another butternut. Some of my squashes were getting so big they were totally shading out all of my other little starts. Put him over here with his brother. Those have gotten their first set of extra leaves. This is another spaghetti squash. Put those over there. When I started out, I had my grow light a little too high, and they had to reach a little too high for the light. So that was another reason they got a little leggy. But hopefully with the days warming up, I'll be able to get them outside and get them acclimated to being out there. And they'll get a little straighter. I could not find blood meal because of course it's Easter Sunday and all of the nurseries are closed, and the closest thing we had open was Walmart. So they do not have it. So moving on. What's this one? Oh, This is my zucchinis. I do love a good zucchini. Funny story, one year at the end of the harvest season in the winter, as we were putting everything to bed, we found a giant zucchini that we had missed way under everything. It was huge. And really, if you're gonna harvest, you should harvest them a lot younger and not let them get so big, because then they're tough and pulpy and lots of seeds and not nearly as nice as if you would have harvested them. So many people think, oh, look how big my zucchini grew. Yeah, that's not such a good thing, unless of course you're breaking some zucchini bread. Also gonna have to get a compost pit going. Probably be a good thing. Of course, as soon as we get the chicken coop built, then we'll have some chicken poop to put in there. And start turning that compost, getting that ready for the beds. One goal at a time. The other thing I'm looking forward to is I'm actually looking for 4 Angora rabbits. And that poop you can stick right into your garden. It's not hot, so it's good to go. Because I want Angora rabbits because I'm actually a fiber artist. And I'd like to actually be able to sell some of the fiber. Looking into opening an Etsy shop. I crochet, I spin, and I weave. And I've dabbled with some other arts, but I'm really loving the spinning. I taught myself how to do that through the pandemic. One of my favorite yarns to spin is some really funky textured art yarn. And I love luxury fibers, so having Angora rabbits will give me Angora to spin. And I can sell the fiber. And the poop will go in my garden. It's kind of a win-win. Oh, that one's stuck. We're gonna have to save it. My peas are coming up really, really great. That's the first time I've ever, my fail in all my peas is that I always try to plant them, you know, after Mother's Day in the heat of July, and they die because it took me a long time to figure out what I can plant in colder weather. Alright, I think we got most of the squashes transplanted for now that have gotten their first leaves. I think I have another acorn squash, but they're just getting them. So now we can move on to some other things that are a little leggy and see how they're doing. So I have some broccoli going on that can probably be transplanted. These poor guys kind of had to fight for it because the squash plants were so good this year. Hopefully they'll take off. And we've got enough soil to fill up the second pool today, and go ahead and plant some lettuce. And some spinach today. Get that bed going since we did the kale yesterday. I also have inside over the winter, we've done some Chicago hardy fig trees and some elderberry bushes. I have 4 elderberry bushes ready to go in to join the one that survived last winter. Now if we could just get some figs, I'd be a very happy camper. These are broccoli. Break you off from your root system. Hope you work. That one's gonna be hit or miss. He has a few roots, but he kind of broke off his root system. That's a cauliflower. My broccoli came up. My cauliflower did not want to come up this year. The reason we waited so long is that it was a little tough. We couldn't get our seed trays even from Bootstrap Farmer. I'll put a link to them below. But we were able to get the seed cups from Bootstrap Farmer. Really nicely made. Definitely going to be able to reuse those, which is a great investment. On to the Brussels sprouts. I always find it incredibly funny how so many of the plants look kind of the same as they start out. It's very difficult to tell them apart until they start getting more mature. Already done all that hard work to get up there.